What's up, investors? It's Mike from MJF Invest. Today's video is going to be about ARK Invest secret weapon, Wrights Law. I'm also going to discuss a couple other metrics and things that I'm looking for. I'm not necessarily going to go over particular stocks in this video. I'm going to give you a criteria of the stocks that I'm looking for. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Also, an early thumbs up really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. So make sure you hit that like button. Let's talk stocks down below in the comment section. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. You need to do all your own research. It's up to you to decide what stocks you want to add in your portfolio. I'm just a guy who likes to do his DD, and I make content about it. The last couple of weeks, I've really been thinking a lot about tightening up my portfolio and what kind of companies that I want to hold. So I've been really doing a lot of reading and trying to really shore up my strategies, right? And you know, I scaled back a little bit with the content because I was kind of doing this, and I feel like I'm ready now to start really pumping some videos out again. But I felt like this was a pretty good idea to first put a video out of what exactly I'm looking for, what frameworks I'm going to be working within. So you know, I wanted to put that out there. We could always use it as a reference point. And also, too, if you're really a member of the audience, you know, you can know what I'm looking for, and you can throw some stocks back at me, and this can be more of a group effort in a community. First, I wanted to discuss Wrights Law. I always hear Kathy Wood talk about it in her interviews. ARK Invest, you know, they are the innovators. They are the marquee of investing in innovation. They constantly talk about Wrights Law, so I really wanted to try to dive into it and understand it. And use it as a tool in stock selection in the future. So what is Wrights Law? Wrights Law was pioneered by Theodore Wright in 1936. Wrights Law aims to provide a reliable framework for forecasting cost declines as a function of cumulative production. Specifically, it states that for every cumulative doubling of units produced, costs will fall by a constant percentage. So, you know, what is Wrights Law? Wrights Law is as the units produced doubles, it becomes cheaper to produce. So there's an increase in margins. It becomes more efficient. So knowing that, you want to apply that a little bit to some of the, if you want it to be speculative and in innovation. So if you're looking at a company that has some, margins, questionable margins, suspect margins, if you could apply Wrights Law, it could help you see some of the future growth and potential. Tesla's a great example. ARK is in this report, they're valuing Tesla with over 30% margins. Tesla's margins are currently at 17%. So that's where a lot of the traditional investors or traditional analysts kind of lose it. They're like, what the heck, what are they talking about? And this is why. They're forecasting, they're making an assumption that Tesla is going to get their margins that high. That's the assumption that ARK is making using Wrights Law. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into it. First and foremost, who is Theodore Wright? Theodore Paul Wright, also known as T.P. Wright, was a U.S. aeronautical engineer and educator. His career spanned numerous positions, including naval aircraft inspector, executive engineer at the Curtiss Aeroplane Company, and chief engineer of the Curtiss-Wright Corporation. He was a member of the National Defense Advisory Committee under President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And while he was studying airplane manufacturing, Wright determined that for every doubling of airplane production, the labor requirement was reduced by 10 to 15%. And in 1936, he detailed his full findings in a paper, Factors Affecting the Cost of Airplanes, now known today as Wrights Law. And with a simple Google search, factors affecting the cost of airplanes, you could pull up this brilliant piece of work written a long time ago by a brilliant guy. And just the fact that he forecasted this and his projections could be applied to so many different areas, and really understanding what it is could be helpful, and I don't know how in depth, you want to get with your research, but it is there. If you want to just completely nerd out, there's a 7-page paper there and you can get into it. Wrights Law is a formula. I'm not a scientist, and I'm not going to be able to apply this formula like this. But just trying to have an awareness of it, getting started, building a foundation, and then trying to understand it more and more with time. Again, I always talk about being a long-term investor. I'm planning on doing this for the next 20, 30, 40 years. So, I don't mind, diving into a rabbit hole like this, because my plan would be to really understand this and know this as time goes on. But as of now, no, I would not be able to apply this formula, like this. But I hope to one day. Also, we've heard Kathy Wood and Ark Invest talk about Moore's Law in the past. This is a little different. Moore's Law was named after Gordon Moore for his work in 1965, which focuses on cost as a function of time. Specifically, it states that the number of transistors on a chip would double every 2 years. Wrights Law, on the other hand, forecasts costs as a function of units produced. So again, the more units produced, doubling, now the cost drops dramatically. And right up on the ARK website, they have a really nice use case for Wrights Law, and they're using lithium-ion batteries, and how you could have seen this coming, that as the cost of batteries declined, it allowed lithium to be used more at scale, particularly in the EV sector. It's a really interesting piece. It's right on the ARK website, so if you want to go check that out. A couple other things I'm going to be looking for. I'm looking for growing total addressable markets with growing companies, particularly over the last 5 years. Companies growing 10, 15, 20% would be, a minimum. Also looking for companies like that. So if you're still watching, thank you so much. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe for future content. Let me know what you think. And should it be applied? Is it a useful metric? And let me know what you learned in the video. Hope you guys come back. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.